The following video is presented by Audience on Demand, programmatic solutions from Vivaki. For more information, go to audienceondemand.de.
Hi, I'm Ronan Shields. I'm one of the editors at ExchangeWire, and I'm talking to you here from the Adtrader Berlin Conference 2015. And I'm lucky enough to be joined by Thomas Servatius, who is IPONWEB's Head of Client Services, and you also gave a keynote presentation today. Thank you for joining us. And I just wondered if we could run over quickly some of the points that you made during your presentation, which was about retargeting. Still one of the most popular applications of programmatic buying and ad tech. I was just wondering if you could explain a little bit about its endurance and why it has remained so popular for the best part of 10 years.
Yeah, so retargeting is really a phenomenon, because if you see that's something which evolved early on in 2006, maybe 2008 already, and it still survived the shift to programmatic advertising. And it's interesting to understand why, and we just think is because if you look at the purely traditional online KPIs of a retargeting campaign and compare it to a typical display campaign without any retargeting information, you see that the KPIs look really alluring and look fantastic. Click rates are much better, conversion rates are much better, simply because the decision-making system, which is doing the ad decision, can use the information that somebody is having some kind of purchase interest for advertising these users, doing a higher bid on this user, and that's the reason why it's so successful, because the metrics looks great, and on the other hand, it brings you a lot of conversions simply because the system can use it for a better decisioning.
And as anyone in the industry will know, retargeting is not without its detractors. We all know the reasons why, because ads following you around the internet, maybe sometimes for products that you've already bought. How would you say retargeting technology can be used more effectively?
Yeah, the traditional problem of retargeting, if you implement it wrongly, is that you are doing wrong things as an advertiser. So that means, although your KPIs, your traditional KPIs like click rate and so on look fantastic, you still have a wrong implementation, which can be, for example, that you focus the whole retargeting advertising activity on users who are very close to the point of sales and already have decided. If you just focus on those ones, they will be tremendously, you can bid a lot on them, but you're basically advertising users who already made the decision to buy, so you're wasting budgets. So what we recommend is to focus on users which are more higher in the sales funnel, so who haven't made the decision yet, but still showed interest, because there is a good chance that you can influence the decision by doing retargeting. That's one thing. The other thing is really be restrictive as an advertiser and set clear rules how retargeting should be implemented. Make sure that the checkout signal is handled properly and you're not advertising any users which already bought. Make sure that users are not followed by ads for 6 months, but set a clear rule of, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks, which is maximum allowed to do retargeting things. If you're not doing that, your DSP will most likely focus always on those users who have anyway a high likelihood to convert, because that are the easiest to get, but those are the users who bring you the least value.
So obviously there needs to be a better appraisal of how such technologies are used. Which tier of the industry do you think is best placed to implement this change? For instance, is it the marketeers themselves? Is it people at agency level? Who do you think is best placed to engineer this shift?
Well, what I think is it needs to be understood and done also on an agency level, and we see agencies doing that, coming up with their own retargeting approaches and also DCO solutions, because it also has a very close touch point to the creative side of things. So I think it can sit on an agency level as a very good service offering. We also see standalone DSPs who are not belonging to an agency group, who try to offer that as a service to their clients. Specifically, e-commerce driven DSPs are doing it a lot, of course. So I think it can sit with different players. As the latest trend from my perspective is that we see big brands who are having own first-party data, a lot of CRM data, who are coming now into the play and who want to retarget users they know as well, but with much more sophisticated approaches like customer lifetime value-driven approaches. So I think that there are new players joining the game right now.
Great. Thomas Servatius, thank you very much for your time, and that's it from Adtrader Berlin.